Okay, just record it. God. Oh well, that's. Oh, and I still haven't figured out how to put myself big on the thing yet either. So I'm that little guy, tiny guy. Funny. Well, actually, for all this is a poetry reading I'm doing on Zoom, but I'm also set putting it on my YouTube channel, John Lobdell's Inspiring Poetry. If you happen to be watching this on the YouTube, could you please chat at me and tell me who you are? Because otherwise I don't know. Thank you. Okay, we're going to start now. I like to start with a little body-mind centering, which I do by rubbing my hands together so they get a little warm. And placing it right over your eyes. A couple more times. All right. So I wrote one poem this week, so I'm going to read first. Okay. Poor Julie. I'm sorry. God. Okay, that's the one I wrote this week. I awake with a new pain in the body, and my old companion fear appears like a cold draft. He's been with me since I learned to worry. There when the school bully challenged me. When I first thought about death. When world events slid into chaos. When even I found love, he warned me I might lose her. Like a stern father, he told me to be strong. And for that, perhaps I should be grateful. Now that I'm old and death's sting might even seem a blessing, it's like the story of Michael, who befriended a mortal man. The man asked only one favor of Michael, to please tell him when his time had come. One day the man saw Michael and was confused. They had not planned to meet this day. Why are you here? The man asked. Michael answered, it's your time. But you said you'd tell me when my time was. But I have, replied Michael. Didn't you hear the baker died a few days ago? And the carpenter who fell off his ladder? Now when fear comes, I sometimes can hear what he's always been telling me. This life will pass by. Seek that which will not. The moment the face of fear becomes Michael, beckoning me to the fields of love.
Nice.
Yeah. One of my friends didn't like the ending very much. I might have to work on it. I'll read a few of my poems from the books, and then we'll read some of yours, Glenda. This one's called Creativity. I once asked my artist brother, why don't you have any paintings on your walls? He said, the white walls invite my imagination. I could relate. I don't read that much. A few poems a day to prime the pump. The blank canvas, the white page. Sometimes terrifying, but a necessary beginning. Often I start by merely describing what's around me. Then from a place I don't control, gifts arrive. In a field, it may be a duck splashing into a lake. If I'm in a cafe, it might be a pretty girl with mismatched socks. Or they might be crazy, like a bear coming in to order coffee. Creative folk are often followers of the lunatic moon. And sometimes a more essential world meets our open gaze, and we see for a moment back before time, and we sit with holy men around a campfire somewhere in the Himalayas. I like that one.
Well, that blank page gets me every time.
Yeah, that's why you just have to start writing real quick.
Yeah.
This one's called Three Women. A flock of gray and white seagulls sit on the beach looking out to sea. Then suddenly, from some common impulse, they all take off. They fly toward the ocean, then turn en masse. Now they fly in all directions, as if it's time for play or individual desires. Then they settle down together in the same place they were originally. A car drives up beside me. Three women exit. They take pictures with the ocean as a backdrop. Mother and daughter, mother and her mother, grandmother and granddaughter. They begin putting on coats. It's cold here on this foggy beach. The mother, perhaps because she is in the middle, fusses and organizes. The daughter finishes first and begins looking at her phone. The grandmother moves slowly as she puts a scarf over her head. She looks like those black and white photos we see of long ago Europe. Times of poverty and war, of places like the Pale of Settlement. They walk down the beach. The daughter finds the best way down. Once on the beach, mother and grandmother walk alone into the past. The daughter sits and looks at today on her phone. The seagulls have flown out toward the horizon again. They circle in the timeless air. The three women climb back to the parking lot. A raven that's been sitting on a fence flies high into the air, then begins hovering on the wind. The daughter takes a picture of it, a snapshot of the time the three generations of this family visited the beach. I watch the seagulls settle again. I look up to where the raven looks out over everything. I become grateful for family and memories, and most of all, those moments when I can look down like the raven and see it all at once.
When I go to the beach, I usually bring a book.
Yeah. Actually, I've got
Never a phone.
a poem about that too. I wonder where that is.
I like to read a page and then look at the waves, and then read a page and then look at the waves.
Yeah, I wonder where that is.
My late husband liked to play in the waves.
I used to like to take those bull kelp and whip them around like a whip. I can't remember what that one's called. Nope, I can't remember it. Well, why don't we go on to time's running away? So why don't we go on to your poems you sent me? Let's see. Oh, poor Julie's trying all kinds of things. God dang it.
Oh, yeah, I hate that. Of all the ones she really wants to be down here.
Yeah, that's the silly thing about it. She'll listen to us on my email, I mean my YouTube, but
Well, you have a week between now and then. The next time, maybe she can figure it out. You can help her figure it out.
yeah. Or maybe I'll do that YouTube thing. I don't know, that sounds simpler somehow. We'll see. Well, you sent me a couple. You want me to read them both? You got Daughter and you got Memory Lane.
I mean,
Hmm?
it's up to you. You can just do memory lane if you want,
Okay, maybe we'll do Memory Lane this time. Next
or
time
either one.
we can do the Daughter. Your Daughter is very sweet, though. I like that one. I'll read Daughter.
That's
Soft Baby Daughter by Glenda Reed. Soft baby arms about my neck. Little whispered words in childish glee. You fit in my lap so perfectly. Warm, fragrant love pressed against my heart. Remember bright eyes on Christmas morn. Remember picture books for serious study. Remember dependence for the scarves and gloves. Climb in my bed when Daddy was gone. Bright colored pictures of important display. Learning words and thoughts to share. Sweet little face pressed close to my own. A part of my body, half of my soul. Too soon away to school, to travel, emptying my arms, disciplining my heart, watching a familiar form run to greet me with news of knowledge just gained. Johnson & Johnson to fight away tears, damp little memories to hold through the years. Owner of my heart with keys to my soul. Where are the braids, the ribbons and bows? A sweet cherished person to hold and protect. I hold in my thoughts as vulnerable, but yet I'll never know again a small head on my heart. I ache for the small little girl in my arms, who smiled with her heart and trusted with her soul, and fit me so perfectly and loved me so well. That is just beautiful, Glenda. That's an experience I didn't have in life.
thank you.
Yeah, maybe we'll save memory
Yeah,
lane for next time.
okay,
And
that's fine.
let's see. Maybe I'll read one more of mine. Got something out here. It's called Dancing. Walking in from the highway, I spook a young deer. It smashes into a chain-link fence that stands between us and freedom. Bounding away, it continues hurling itself against the fence. I'm terrified it will try to jump. At top are 3 strands of barbed wire. I stand perfectly still until I don't see him anymore. Walking toward marshlands, I see rusted oil drums, buildings that look like guard towers. In weird ochre-colored pools, a lone curlew is chirping. Further on, I'm in the marsh itself. I sit down viewing expanses of pickleweed and cattails. A salty, sweet, rotting smell envelops me. I don't feel like I don't belong here. In distance, huge erector set power poles loom over the flat marsh. I think about the deer, the curlew, and that water. What must the animals think of us? A slight breeze waves a grass stem. A white butterfly dances before me. When the Native Americans, defeated in battle, sought to have the animals return, and the whites go away, they created a dance, a crazy, futile effort to us. My legs have gone to sleep. I get up and hop around. They wake up in pins and needles. As sometimes happens, something else wakes up too. I don't feel uneasy in this place anymore. Feel I belong to the land. I begin my own chant. Laughing, I realize I'd been, as usual, too literal. Dancing is the way. And perhaps it was the only thing we really can, perhaps it, and maybe it is really the only thing we can do. All right, what else have I got here? Here's a poem by Robert Bly. The Fallen Tree. After a long walk, I come down to the shore. A cottonwood tree lies stretched out in the grass. This tree knocked down by lightning. In a hollow the owls made open now to the rain. Disasters are all right if they teach men and women to turn their hollow places up. The tree lies stretched out where it fell in the grass. It is so mysterious, waters below, waters above. So little of it we can ever know. Here's one of Emily Dickinson's more famous poems. Wild nights, wild nights, wild nights, wild nights. Were I with thee, wild nights should be our luxury. Futile the winds to a heart in port. Done with the compass, done with the chart. Rowing in Eden, ah, the sea, might I but moor tonight in thee. Now here's another one of hers. Let's see. Safe in their alabaster chambers. Safe in their alabaster chambers, untouched by morning and untouched by noon, lie the meek members of the resurrection. Rafter of satin and roof of stone. Grand go the years in the crescent above them. Worlds scoop their arcs, and firmaments row, diadems drop, and doges surrender, soundless as dots on a disk of snow. I find Emily very difficult sometimes.
Yeah, she's kind of hard to understand.
Isn't she? I mean, a lot of people love her, but I just can't quite figure her out. Well, my friend, God, I'm just having a senior moment. My friend, the one who joined us a couple of weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
God, it's funny for you to hear this. Oh, that's crazy. Ellen, my friend Ellen. God, that's crazy. Oh, we're running out of time already. Okay, darn. Anyway, she was talking about how her father gave her a copy of Leaves the Grass when she was very young, like, God, maybe before 10. I was kind of jealous of that. My father never gave me a book of poetry. So I thought I'd read the beginning of Leaves the Grass, just to hear it. Leaves of grass, song of myself. I celebrate myself, and what I assume you shall assume, for every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. I loaf and invite my soul, I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass. Houses and rooms are full of perfumes, the shelves are crowded with perfumes. I breathe the fragrance myself, and know it and like it. The distillation would intoxicate me also, but I shall not let it. The atmosphere is not a perfume. It has no taste of the distillation. It is odorless. It is for my mouth forever. I am in love with it. I will go to the bank by the wood and become undisguised and naked. I am mad for it to be in contact with me. The smoke of my own breath echoes, ripples, and buzzed whispers, love root, silk thread, crotch, and vine. My respiration and inspiration, the beating of my heart, the passing of blood and air through my lungs, the sniff of green leaves and dry leaves, and of the shore and dark-colored sea rocks, and of hay in the barn, the sound of the belched words of my voice, words loose to the eddies of the wind. A few light kisses, a few embraces, a reaching around of arms, the play of shine and shade on the trees as the supple boughs wag, the delight alone or in the rush of the streets or along the fields and hillsides, the feeling of health, the full noon trill, the song of me rising from bed and meeting the sun. Have you reckoned 1,000 acres much? Have you reckoned the earth much? Have you practiced so long to read, to learn to read? Have you felt so proud to get at the meaning of poems? That's a good place to end. He was quite a wordsmith, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. That's the first book I ever had of poetry.
Yeah, I'm sure that is for lots of people. I'd heard about it. I don't think I'd read it. I don't know. I've never read the whole thing, actually. Read pieces of it. It's really, I think I heard once that's where free verse came from, that poem. Well, since I'm running out of time, I'll read a couple of Mary Oliver's and sign off. Mysteries, yes. Truly, we live with mysteries too marvelous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing in the mouths of the lambs. How rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity, while we ourselves dream of rising. How two hands touch and the bonds will never be broken. How people come from delight or the scars of damage. How people come from delight or the scars of damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have answers, the answers. Let me keep company always with those who say, look, and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads. Here's one called Prayer. May I never not be frisky. May I never not be risque. May my ashes, when you have them, friend, and give them to the ocean, leap in the froth of the waves and still loving movement, still ready beyond all else to dance for the world. Night in the river. I have seen the great feet leaping into the river, and I have seen moonlight milky along the long muzzle, and I have seen the body of something scaled and wonderful, slumped in the sudden fire of its mouth, and I could not tell which fit me more comfortably, the power or the powerlessness. Neither would have me entirely. I was divided, consumed by sympathy, pity, admiration. After a while it was done. The fish had vanished, the bear lumped away to the green shore and into the trees. And then there was only this story. It followed me home and entered my house, a difficult guest with a single tune, which it hums all day and through the night, slowly or briskly, it doesn't matter. It sounds like the river leaping and falling. It sounds like a body falling apart. Well, maybe I'll finish there. Just got a couple minutes left. So Julie's going to watch it on YouTube.
I'm sorry, I'm the only one that was here.
Yeah, I have to figure this out. My goodness. I wish I would. That's the trouble with us.
I don't know why.
We didn't grow up with computers.
I don't know anything about computers. I don't know how I got in it. I mean, how I got in there so easily. I don't know why it was okay. It was easy for me and not her. Because I didn't do anything different than what I told her to do.
I
Or
think
what you
it's
told her to do.
because you're like in the original thing I set up, and these other people I added, they're called guests, and there's something's different about being a guest, but I don't know what it is. Oh well, I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to sign off, my dear, and you have a good night,
You too.
and I should see you next week.
Alrighty. Thank
Alrighty.
you.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.